Hi guys, it's Sunbury Housewives. Welcome back to another video. If you're new to our channel, thank you so much for stopping by. Hit the subscribe button to see future videos. So today I have a really beautiful beach wave tumbler. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm starting with a prepped 20-ounce stainless steel tumbler, and I'm getting it ready with using Tack it over and over. I'm doing a little bit of a different glitter method using the Tack it method and some glitters, obviously. So I'm doing the Tack it method with a little bit of water and stirring that together. I'm not even painting this tumbler. I want the glitters to have sort of like a metallic chrome look to them instead of that really glittery look. So once they get mixed up, I'm going to go ahead and paint this onto my tumbler. I've already sanded this and cleaned it with alcohol. So I'm going to go ahead and paint one layer of the Tack it over and over onto the entire tumbler, getting it as smooth as possible. And once that's done, I'm going to take my heat gun and dry it because I'm lazy, and you can almost see it drying right here as I'm got the heat gun on it. And then once this layer is completely dry, I will go in with a second coat of Tack it over and over and apply that to make sure that I get any missing spots that I may have missed. And then once that's completely dry, I will then start adding my glitter. And instead of doing a typical beach tumbler where you start with the sand at the bottom and then go up, I wanted to do something a little bit different. So you'll see that in here in a second as soon as I get this layer dried. So I'm using 3 different glitters, actually, and I do bring in a 4th glitter, but here's the glitters that I'm using, and I'll have it listed in the description box below, along with that 4th glitter that I do use as well. I figured this was the perfect tumbler to kick off the summer series. As you're watching this, we're actually on our way for our girls trip. So yeah, so I'm going at an angle, and this is my sand, obviously, and I'm just kind of going at an angle into basically a swirl and concentrating that. I didn't want it extremely wide, but wide enough so that you knew that it was sand. And I didn't want to forget the bottom. And then I kind of bring it up just a little bit once I get to the main base that I wanted. Just a little bit of, not ombre, but just so that there will be a little bit of ombre so that my glitters will mesh well once they're all laid out. And then I'm taking my lighter of the 2 greens or teals and laying that right up against the sand so that, you know, just like the beach, it goes from lightest to darkest when you look out at the ocean. And this, I didn't put too much of this because I want my main focus to be the darker of the teal and that blue. And now it was time to go in with mermaid scales. Mermaid scales is one of my absolute favorite to do on Tack it over and over. It just absolutely is stunning. So I'm just starting out light at first, going through and mapping out exactly where I want it, and then I sort of go a little more ham on it because I still want to have room for that blue. And I'm going just slightly over into the lighter teal, which I believe that was Ducky by the Glitter Heart Co. And then just bringing it out more and more because I really, really want the mermaid scales to be the main focus. And I wanted the blue in there, but I didn't want the blue to be so overpowering. I really wanted the blue and the teal to blend really well. And in the end, you'll see it really does. So you can see I'm bringing up my shaker up higher because I want it to fall more into the middle, but not so concentrated. And this is where that blending of the blue and the teal are going to really blend together very, very, very well. And again, hitting the bottom and then making sure I got exactly where I want it to be. And then this is where I'm going to go in with the blue. And I want to say this is Blue Jeans by the Glitter Heart Co. And this is just a very nice, it's not a very dark blue, but it's not light blue either. It's just like a very nice medium blue. And I start in the middle and then I just work my way towards each side of the teal with the mermaid scales. And then I'll start to blend into the mermaid scales. Now that I have all my glitters laid down, I take a gloved hand and I just start rubbing down those glitters. Now because the tack is very tacky, and rubbing this down lays it down. And you can see, especially in this gold, how shiny that becomes. It becomes like this chrome. This is what I'm looking for. And this is exactly what I was wanting. And then moving into the other colors where it blends them together, it just becomes one whole piece. And I couldn't be happier with how this is turning out. And then my camera died. So I'm going ahead and I'm adding in on my epoxy. And you can just see how stunning this tumbler looks. Doing this on a stainless base gives us a whole different look than just adding like onto the raw glitter, which is gorgeous in itself, but this gives a whole different element to it. So what I'm going to do is just add a very thin layer. I probably added only about 10 milliliters of epoxy onto this. And then I'm going to add some waves. So I'm going to go ahead and pour just a little bit into another medicine cup. And then I have this Alumilite white epoxy dye, and just a little drop goes a long way, and it'll give this very nice white color. It's a little different than alcohol ink. Pop any bubbles on this, but just, I don't want to keep my heat on it too long because I don't really want the epoxy to move around too much. So I'm going to mix that up, and on a gloved finger, I'm just going to do some swirls because I want it to stay where I put it. And then I'm just kind of swirling it around. I mean, it didn't matter, but I didn't want to add too much to it, because if you add too much to it, it's going to start swirling around and making a kind of a blobby mess. And if I found any spot that I added too much to it, I can wipe it away or move it around, more, which you'll see what I'm doing. Once I'm satisfied with that, I grab a straw and I just start blowing these waves. And what this doing is just creating cells to mimic the waves crashing. And this, you can do this with one of two ways. You could use a heat gun to create those waves, But this is my preferred method, actually. It kind of concentrates on those and creates really nice cells. So this is the way that I like to do it. So I let this spin for 12 hours. Once that's done, and this is the result. You could see it didn't move that much, and it really gave very nice waves. So once that was done, I went ahead and created a cut out some vinyl that says happiness comes in waves. Now, knowing that this was on a curve, I knew it wasn't going to all fit the way that I wanted to, so I cut it in pieces and just kind of piece this together. And put this onto the sand portion. I cut it an offset and put that in white, and then in just gold vinyl, the words. So I'm just removing all the little excess bits that was too small to weed out, and did that while I was on the tumbler. It was just so much easier. So once that was done, I needed to, I guess, apparently still weed that out. So yeah, once that was done, I'm going to go ahead and make sure that everything looks good, and then I will give this 2 coats of Rust-Oleum clear coat, and then we're going to go ahead and pop it back on the turner and give this, I believe I gave it 10 or 15 milliliters of epoxy. And then I'm going to show you just a little bit different way to add the waves this time. I just added the smallest bit of epoxy into the cup with some more Alumilite dye. And I just, with the stick, just added like the smallest amounts. Any part that I added maybe just too much, I just removed. And then again with the straw, I will blow the cells. I wanted to concentrate around the sand and add some of those waves onto the sand, just to kind of make the saying a little bit more relevant. And then once this coat was done, I added one more coat for the final coat, and then this tumbler was done. Here it is. I am absolutely in love with this tumbler. I'm so happy that I used this to kick off not only the girls' trip, but summer. And so yeah, this will be available on the website. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a great big thumbs up. I won't have any videos available for tumblers this week, but we'll have plenty of girls' trip videos. So make sure to check that out. And if you like this video, give it a great big thumbs up. And I will see you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye guys.